In the history of technology, few sounds are as evocative as the digital handshake of a dial-up modem. Clicks, beeps, and screeching static. For a generation that came of age in the 1990s and early 2000s, that sequence was not noise. It was the overture to a new world. It was the sound of your personal computer, a machine for solitary work reaching out through a simple telephone line to connect with millions of others. This era, stretching roughly from the early 90s to the mid-2000s, feels distant now. A quaint and slow-moving chapter before the constant connectivity of today. The modem's cry was a ritual of patience, a process that demanded you wait, actively, for the portal to open. You could not make a phone call. One of the most enduring myths of the dial-up era is that the internet was a completely unregulated wilderness, a digital Wild West where anything went. This image is compelling. It speaks to a desire for a space free from corporate or governmental control. The reality, however, was far more structured. While the web had vast, unpoliced corners and a spirit of anarchic freedom, powerful forces of order and control were present from the very beginning. For millions, their first taste of the internet was not the open web at all. It was the curated and closed ecosystem of America Online, AOL. The default experience was AOL's own content: news, chat rooms, forums, email service. The company had strict terms of service and employed armies of moderators, removing content and banning users who violated the rules. Beyond walled gardens, legal frameworks began grappling with this new medium. One major example was the Communications Decency Act of 1996. In Reno v. ACLU, the court struck down anti-indecency provisions, affirming strong constitutional protection for internet speech. Even in chaotic spaces like Usenet, each newsgroup had culture, written rules, and unwritten etiquette. Moderators guided discussions, removed off-topic posts and spam, and resolved conflicts. The myth of a lawless web ignores the human effort that created functional civil spaces. When we think of dial-up, the first word is slow. Pages loading line by line, images rendering in passes, downloads timing out. While limitations were real, the slowness fostered patience, intentionality, creativity. The constraints prioritized text. People read, thought, and communicated deliberately. Since every click cost time, users chose carefully. You opened multiple windows, letting pages load in the background. People browsed with images off, enabling only what seemed promising. A good essay, a thoughtful forum post, a clever text-based game, valued because they delivered richness without bandwidth. Developers were ruthlessly efficient. Optimize images, streamline code, build light interactions. Flash rose with vector animation and interactive interfaces that loaded faster than video. The ritual of connecting made time online feel significant, less disposable. One user recalled, "You didn't just check things, you went on a journey. You'd find a forum, spend the evening, get to know the regulars. It felt like a place, a sense often lost amid today's infinite scrolling." The modern internet is built on video, but early streaming over 56K wasn't a folly. Pioneers like Real Networks put RealPlayer in browsers worldwide. Buffers took minutes. Visuals were tiny and blurry, audio choppy, yet it worked. You could hear a radio station across the country in real time. Watch a trailer without downloading a massive file, like magic. Today's debates over moderation feel current, but the early internet was never immune. From the start, corporations, governments, schools, communities imposed rules. The CDA tried to police indecency. Protests and court challenges followed. Libraries installed filters. Debates raged over access versus protection. ISPs enforced standards. Users were banned for profanity or controversial posts. For many, a ban cut off their entire digital life. The Blue Ribbon Campaign became one of the first large-scale digital protests. Legal challenges, local debates, and corporate moderation defined the dial-up era. The core questions, who controls online speech, were asked early. and were just as contested. History rhymes. Beyond the myths and milestones, the dial-up era is a story about people. A teenager waits for the line to be free, then logs into AOL Instant Messenger. She types, "You there?" a beat, and "Hey," pops back. For an hour, they talk about everything and nothing. Simple, clacky keys, but intensely private and immediate. At midnight, she signs off. The modem clicks. Silence. A birdwatcher, newly online, feels clumsy and intimidated. He searches Cornell Lab of Ornithology. A slow page appears. He discovers a forum. People from Florida to Oregon discuss migration, share sightings. After a week of lurking, he asks a question. Kind answers greet him. The technology was the vehicle. The destination was connection. I was traveling. I was meeting my tribe. The dial-up crucible forged habits. Email, browsers, instant messengers, web tools all channeled behavior. No tabs meant parallel windows. Load here, read there, born from slow connections. Simple HTML and page builders created a handcrafted, idiosyncratic web. Interactivity grew, but demanded patience and risked crashes. The dot-com boom poured money into ideas. Speculation and innovation intertwined. ISPs sold access. Banner ads exploded. Online retail earned trust. Some scaled. Many soared and crashed. The bust wiped out hundreds. Resilient models survived. The lesson? Solve real problems. Find paths to profit. GeoCities, millions of pages, shut in 2009. A folk web bulldozed. When admins quit or funds ran out, archives disappeared. Flash died in 2021. Countless games, animations, sites inaccessible without emulation. Preservation helps, but much slipped through the cracks. Our history sits on servers that can be unplugged. The dial-up era wasn't lawless, merely frustrating or primitive. It was a distinct cultural moment with its own logic, aesthetic, and bonds. Slowness shaped patience, intentionality, and deep engagement with the written word. We tell a story from slow to fast, text to video, inconvenient to seamless, but we lost quiet, focused communities. Architectures create societies, tools shape values. The internet's future isn't inevitable, it's a series of choices. When connection is deliberate, time online feels more valuable. Platforms for focused conversation let deep communities flourish. The modem's screech is a reminder. We can build things differently. Our technological world isn't given, it's made. And if we listen closely, it asks, what kind of world do we want to build with the tools we have? For further reading, a great place to start is Where Wizards Stay Up Late, The Origins of the Internet, by Katie Hafner and Matthew Lyon. For more great narratives like this one, remember to click like and subscribe to Worldwide Wired.